Savage. If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Good evening and welcome to the HHH Racing Podcast, episode 425 of Picks and Ponies. I'm your proud host, Howard Kravitz. Thank you very much for joining us tonight as we have a very exciting card. A little bit of a sad card, though, because we are going to be covering the last Saturday late pick 5 of the 2025 Saratoga meet, and it is winding down. The Saratoga meet closes on Monday, Labor Day. We're going to try to go out with a bang talking about the big card this Saturday, late pick 5 with 2 graded stakes. And then, of course, after this show, and we'll announce it a few times, the biggest Del Mar card of the entire summer. Pacific Horse Players going to be covering it like a glove. The late pick 5 on Pacific Classic Day, and what a Pacific Classic, and what a card they have at Del Mar this Saturday, right after this show here on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Pacific Horse Players coming up. But first, please make sure you hit that subscribe button on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Hit the notification bell on the top right and smash that like button below the video player. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. You can follow us on X at HHH Racing Pod. And like I said, a bunch of shows, very exciting. Of course, tonight, a half an hour earlier, 9 p.m. Eastern, will be Pacific Horse Players to talk about the late pick 5 on Pacific Classic Day. Then Saturday and Sunday, our usual lineup of Saratoga today. You can see on the bottom of the screen, 10 a.m. Eastern on Saturday, 10:30 Eastern in the morning on Sunday. We will not have a special Monday Saratoga today on Labor Day. However, and then here's the big news. Weekend Warriors, our live show, our first night, prime time. Weekend Warriors will start at 7:15 Eastern at night on Saturday. Again, Saturday, 7:15 Eastern through the Pacific Classic, with emphasis mainly on Del Mar. We're going to be having the races live through audio feed. We're going to be talking about it in detail in real time. You're not going to want to miss Weekend Warriors. Again, Saturday night on the East Coast, 7:15 Eastern to 9:30 Eastern. Of course, subscribe to our Power Pick tip sheet. Every day we have new people subscribing. Really appreciate it. Look below the video player. All information is also on Patreon, patreon.com. You can look below the video player on our YouTube channel in the description for information. And finally, of course, our website is sponsored by many people, but most importantly, the Adelphi Racing Club. Get in touch with Matt Couture, their website, adelphiracing.com. Fantastic organization I've been a part of for several years now. Please check them out. Before I bring on Pete and Paul, let's see who we've got in the chat. We have Robert Witt from Frisco, Texas. Howdy, Robert. Thanks for joining the show, man. I believe you're new to our chat. Really greatly appreciate our new people. Terry Franks here. Hello, everyone. And Katie, how about that Davis family in the get out race today at Saratoga? As Katie Davis creates a pick 6 carryover tomorrow on Friday at Saratoga, and her older brother trained the horse. Very exciting for that. Tom Espinoza is here. Hello, Robert, from close to San Francisco. Not that close, but what's up, Tom? As your Giant sweats my Cubs. My Cubs are a good team, no better than that. They'll be one and done, I think, in the playoffs, unfortunately. We got Sylvanus here saying hello to Pete. Let's see. We got James is here. What's up, James, from California? A lot of people. Last thing, I should actually let me bring on my co-host before I bring on this post. First, from the East Coast of Maryland, still celebrating perhaps his cousin's win at Monmouth this past Saturday, Mr. Pete Visco, and from the Saratoga Special and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Mr. Paul Halloran. Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight? Pete, congrats to your family members there on the big win at Monmouth last Saturday. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything on the show. There was 8-1 morning line. The horse got bet down to 2. All the HHH money. We're like a CAW now. All the HHH money flew in. But yeah, it was awesome because he had only won once, and it was through a DQ. He was
Yeah.
DQ'd up, so it's nice for them. And him and his wife and daughter were there, and his daughter's getting ready to leave for college soon. So it was nice for the family to experience that and be in the winner's circle. So it's exciting.
Very cool. Always
They're
cool
what?
to be in the winner's circle.
Yeah.
Paul, I wanted to say hello to you, but I wanted to bring up this from Jim Pilar. I wanted to publicly thank Paul for a phenomenal Saratoga weekend. Paul was a fantastic host and great company, thanks to his handicapping prowess. Ooh, nice word right there. I was able to break my Saratoga slump. Paul, Jim Pilar is a great guy. He's a member of our extended family, and you were able to spend an entire weekend basically with him and your good friends last weekend at the Travel.
Yeah, it was great to have him. We really did have a great time, and we had some good teamwork on Friday. We hit the pick 5, and one of the horses he said I liked, he definitely wouldn't have had, and one of the horses I didn't like, I wouldn't have had that he liked. So it was good. Yeah, 2 great days, and we had some other folks up there from the Boston area, and Jim fit like a glove. So Jim had the pleasure on Friday night. We had dinner with 3 of the Bookham Dano people the night before the smash performance in the Forgo. So
very cool. Well, anyway, it was good to see Jim on camera, and I'm glad he had a good time. Guys, we have a lot of announcements. We've got a handicap, and we're going to get to it in about 30 seconds here. We've got a lot of things going on in the podcast. The first thing I want to say, some things Pete and Paul know, some things that actually they don't know, believe it or not. I like to surprise my co-hosts once in a while. Not the biggest deal, but sort of a big deal for me. Upgraded my internet, figured out what was going on. I have much more power now. You will not see any more buffering or any issues. Everything should be great now with the internet. I upgraded, gentlemen. Talked to Comcast, my cable company. Said, look, we've got to power this thing up. We've got like millions of viewers. Let's rock and roll. We can't be buffering once in a while. Anyway, there shouldn't be any issues, guys, for our live shows anymore from my end. So I just want to make that announcement, and also apologize to people for having to tolerate a few minor tech issues in the last few weeks. Other announcements, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off, gentlemen, until towards the end of the show, because we got a lot to talk about, guys. So let's go ahead and do it right now. We're going to get right into the late pick 5. This is, of course, the last pick 5 for a Saturday. I also want to know, everyone listening and watching, we have a special, for those of you that have subscribed to our Saratoga only Power Picks tip sheet, we will have a special Monday edition of our Saratoga Power Picks tip sheet. Paul and I will be talking about that, but there are tip sheets on tomorrow with Paul. I'm writing Saturday as usual. Pete's writing Sunday as usual. And then Monday, we will have a special Saratoga only. This is only for Saratoga Power Pick tip sheet subscribers, but we will be taking care of you on Monday for the closing day, Labor Day. All right, guys, let's get into it right now here. Late pick 5 Saturday. Nice sequence as usual. Actually, the first thing, let me do this, guys. This is an unusual situation. I see Matt Miller in the chat. Matt, I don't know if you can see, but there's a card, guys, right here is like a trading card. Matt Miller knows what that is. That is a Loves Only You Japanese trading card. Thank you, Matt Miller, for giving me that card. I appreciate it. I have an attachment to Loves Only You. If you don't know the story, I'll tell it sometime. But it relates to my father's passing in the Breeders' Cup, and I think Paul might remember the story. But anyway, that's Loves Only You, Matt. So there you go, buddy. Thanks a lot right there. I've got it. Arigato. Yes, thank you, Matt. Okay, showing his Japanese. Guys, here's what's unique about Saturday. Jockeys. Paul, you want to expand on that thought?
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on. I mean, first of all, Jose Ortiz basically abdicated the Saratoga title to Brother Irad. He went to Kentucky starting today. He only won 4 today, by the way, on opening day at Kentucky, and not even going back for tomorrow. You know, the Kentucky does not run tomorrow, so he's there. Obviously, a lot of guys are at Kentucky on Saturday for those 5 stakes races worth about $10 zillion. Johnny V going to the West Coast. You have Johnny V on Fierceness, Flavian on Nisos. So there will be some opportunities back at Saratoga. I know Dylan Davis, we'll talk about on this card, is picking up a few of the Chad horses that Flavian rode. Kendrick will probably win 4 So this you can't be in two places at once, and
No.
It's understandable, right? I mean, obviously, for Johnny's going for fierceness, and Pratt's going for Nisos, but as far as the Kentucky guys, the money is just it's silly money, and
Yeah.
if you have an opportunity to go, especially if it's a horse you've already ridden, then you go.
Yeah. Well, there's been unique opportunities for jockeys. And by the way, I got to say this just like out of nowhere. Matt Miller. Matt, congratulations, buddy. You might have texted me in the last few minutes, but I did not know. Matt is qualified for the NHC. Just happened. Congratulations, Matt. That's awesome. So Matt Miller back to Vegas. I've not qualified yet. I haven't really tried that hard, to be very honest. I'm going to do that after the Breeders' Cup mainly in a few months, see what I can do there. But Matt, that's awesome. Congrats. I hope to be joining you at the NHC. All right, guys, here we go. Let's get into it right now. Late pick 5 starts in race 9, 4:27 Eastern. Allowance 5.5 furlongs on the turf. Rails out 12 feet. Fillies and mares. Big field of 12. There's some AEs. Believe it or not, Paul and Pete, I didn't check that W word. I obviously have no idea. I think the weather's gonna be okay this weekend. I don't even know, but
Good. We're better off with you having no idea. We won't waste time.
All right, I agree. Moreline favorite is a Ward horse. Shoot It True. Luan Machado in Turai. Let's see where we're going with here to start the late pick 5 as I get up some banners right now. Here we go. Whoops, thought that was working. There we go. I'm going 4-1-3. Pete's going 4-1-3. Ooh. And Paul's going 1-3-12. Paul, there's another Ward. The number 1 with Victor Espinoza riding. Dang, here comes Shang. Irish bred, 8-1. The other Ward, Paul. What do you like about this filly?
Well, I think this one, who's running the turf and won on the turf, is just bred much better for the turf than the other one. Now, the other one did win on the turf. I get it. Won a New York bred race at Saratoga. This is an Irish bred, as you said, out of the famous Shang.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that this was the better one. I will tell you that I did almost pick the 12. The 12 would be a real price play for me. Out of all the way out there on a turf sprint's not ideal. So Zayas, who does not ride at Saratoga, here you go, would have to work a trip. But yeah, I just thought, Howard, I like this one better of the two Wards, and I thought there was at least on the morning line, quite a discrepancy in the price.
Agreed. I think she's going to come down in price. Pete, you and I have her second. I definitely think she is live. I don't necessarily love the jockey switch to Victor Espinoza. Is Dylan riding who's Dylan? Is Dylan riding a horse in here? Is he?
He's at He is at Saratoga.
Okay. Who is he riding here?
He's riding the 7. Brylan.
He's riding for Chad. That's
yeah,
interesting. I'll leave it at that. I don't know what to make of that, actually. Pete, you and I are going to go with the other Wesley Ward. I thought Shoot It True, Pete, last time was ultra impressive. I know it was against state breds and etc. But I mean, Dettori rode that horse. So I'll show you the stretch run, everyone. He rode that horse like she was, a sure thing from the start. And what I really like about her in this race, Pete, and I've talked about this many times on the show, I love when a horse can change their style and do it well. She was like dead speed up to that last race, and she rated kindly. She absolutely blew by that field. Not only that, she's got some fast works since. I think it's a very talented 3-year-old filly. She is 5-2. We're not really breaking any news here, but the way she did it last time was that was a wow moment for me.
Yeah, she looked fantastic, and you like to see that now she had it's not like she stunk on the dirt. She had, 3 back. She won a state bred stakes race on the dirt with a 93 buyer. So at least she had some form, but when she switched to the turf, she looked really impressive. And then, like you said, the 2 works coming back are what put it over the top for me, because a lot of times you don't see them working on the turf, and she had just fast works on the turf too. So it could just look at her. She's
wow,
striding away and powerful and like gearing down right there at the end. And I don't know. I just thought she looked great. She was actually a single A for me in this race. So even though at 5-2, usually, especially in a big field, I don't usually land on like a single A horse, and I just really like this horse a lot. And again, the works. I mean, she works well. She was working great going into the last race. I always like this where they're working great, then they run the race, they run great, and then they come out and they're working great again. So they're still holding that form. So all systems just seem to be go for her. And man, I think she was impressive. I can see her getting bet. And I like Machado too, so I don't mind the jockey switch, but I can see her getting bet. But it is a big enough field where maybe the money gets spread around a bit.
I don't mind. Luchado's good, Paul, but again, we've got a lot of jocks who've never ridden at Saratoga or not very often. I know these guys are pros, but still there's nuances of the course and et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see. I just like, Paul, that the 1 and 4 are not going to get each other's way because they're both Wesley. I would assume the 1's going to send and the 4's going to sit, and I think one of them is going to win. I think your 12 is interesting, Paul. I've actually got that one as a B. Believe it or not, I just hate the post situation, but maybe there'll be some scratches. The 12 Miriam's Fire can absolutely improve. Hasn't run in a while, but has every right to run a bigger race. And then number 3, we've all gotten the mixed, Paul, Tales of the Heart. I didn't, I'm not going to show the replay. This is Mott and Lascano, not Mott and Alvarado. At first, I was like, ooh, she got in trouble. I watched it again. I don't know. It was subtle. I didn't really find a lot of excuses. I guess you could say she was in tight, but I've seen a lot worse trouble. She's 1 for 9. She's more underneath for me. I'm getting a little sick of her inability to win a race, frankly.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me, Howard. I just think that she just looks like one of those horses who just doesn't quite get it done. And Jose Lascano, we've talked about as an underrated rider, but he is having a very difficult meet, which can happen up there, right? So, and obviously our friend Junior is not having a difficult meet. Junior is one of the ones that will be chasing the big dollars in Kentucky. He has several mounts there. But this was kind of an underneath horse for me as well.
Howard. The five is similar too, where I just couldn't get there with the 5, and because I had the 3 and the 5 in the mix, and I'm like, they're sure one of them will hit the board. Excuse me, one of them will hit the board most likely, but I just couldn't get there on the win. By the way, Paul, your horse has the highest time form figure on the turf in the field, which is nice. I mean, not the figures are everything, but it's nice when you're getting an 8-1 shot who has already shown that at least from a speed figure standpoint, that they're either at the top or near the top of the field. So I like that as an 8-1 shot.
Yeah, that's what I said, Pete. I just thought the difference in price with the 2 wards.
Yeah.
And of course, now Machado has ridden at Saratoga. He rode next at Saratoga, but I don't know if he's ridden on the turf.
Interesting.
But he certainly has rode next there a few times.
Pete, you stole my thunder. Like the 3 and 5 are like the same horse to me.
They're the same horse, right? I mean,
close. I'd love to see Ray win a race. Ray Handel. By the way, finished a nice second today in the With Anticipation, the 2-year-old male turf stake. And I don't mean to regress, but I don't know if you guys saw on yesterday, I believe, the 2-year-old filly turf stake at Saratoga. Whoa. Todd Pletcher has a serious Breeders' Cup juvenile filly turf threat. In My Time, I think is the name, or in something like that. I don't know. But anyway, Pletcher's got a serious 2-year-old turfer route filly that he unleashed for a second straight time on, I believe, Wednesday. Speaking of turf horses,
that Euro trash next in the Breeders' Cup, we like to say on here.
Well, we don't like, you like to say it.
I
Paul,
like to say it. Yeah, I like.
Yeah, keep that to yourself. Keep that Euro trash comment
keep
yourself.
Me out of that,
yeah. Keep us out of that one. All right. Speaking of turf fillies, the Flower Bowl. Guys, did anyone find anything fascinating about this year's rendition of the Flower Bowl? Anyone know where I'm going with that angle?
It's a grade 2.
No, but it should be a grade 1 probably, but no. No Chad Browns. When's the last time that the Flower Bowl did not have a Chad Brown horse?
I think he wins. It's one of those races he wins a lot, right?
Yeah, that and the Diana, he wins a lot. There's 3 Clements. There's no Chad Browns. I think a bunch of them are probably in Kentucky, but I don't know. Found that a bit interesting. It's still a real nice race. Let's take a look at it, guys. It's race 10, grade 2. $500,000, mile and a 3/8. Host fail, Breeders' Cup win and you're in. It should be. Usually it is. I'll let one
You know
of
what?
Peter
I
and Paul
don't. I
look that
didn't
up.
look. Yeah, I did not look.
Think
Okay.
so.
Usually it is a filly and mare turf win and you're in, but based on the grade 2 designation and this field, it might not be this year. But anyway, I'll let them look that up.
By the way, Chad did win the Flower Bowl last year with Idea Generation. So
Okay.
yes, he
There
did
you
win.
go. By the way, that wasn't one of 3 Chads. It was one of those deals last year, and it was a price. And
There was at least 2.
yeah, I think so.
I went off the screen, but there was at least 2. I think the other one ran
Fe-
6th. It looked like.
The Flower
Okay.
Bowl is a win and you're in for the filly and mare turf.
Okay.
Nice.
One of these horses is going to get free expense paid trip to the filly and mare turf, and based on this field, they will have no chance at all. But they will be going. So
Right.
congrats to them. Field of 8 guys. More line favor the number 4, La Mahena, who was very impressive. One of 3 for Clement actually in this race. Let's see where we are going in the Flower Bowl. I'm going 8-7-4. Pete's going 8-4-7. Paul's going 4-8-3. So Pete and I again, we've been a little simpatico lately. We're going to the Beleza. Paul's going to come back with La Mahena. Paul?
It's funny. I very nearly picked the 8, which would have totally eliminated her from consideration. Really, that was close. I don't know. I just thought this horse was really good last time. This was one of the races I believe that was rained off of Jim Dandy Day and into the next day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
It was on Sunday, regardless. I know I was there. I just thought this horse, the last 2 races, is just kind of become a different horse. You see the trainer change, and you see, God, it went from Christoph to Miguel. So there is really no change there. But I just thought very impressive last time. Kendrick obviously is in good favor with the Clements having ridden deterministic to the 2 grade 1s. And I kind of chalked out here. I thought that anything close to that effort last time wins this race relatively easily.
Pete, I'm assuming you're going to feel the same way I do. You like La Mahena. You just want to see it again. I don't know where that number came from, Pete. I've always liked her, but she hasn't exactly been a win machine, in her career. You can't say it's the trainer change. Obviously, we don't. I mean, it's a horrible situation that what happened, the passing of Miguel's father. But I mean, maybe Miguel's figured out something with this horse. I don't know. To me, Pete, it smells like that yielding turf course really moved her up for some reason. She can obviously win this race. I can't pick her on top. She's going to be 8-5, I think, and her numbers are no better than everyone else in this race except for the last race.
Yeah, I think we did that race on the show because I know I had her on top, and I really liked her last time, and you could see from the time form fractions there was a lot of pace in that race. So she sat relatively close to it, so she's been a little bit closer lately, but I just didn't think she had the pace here. And again, I was with you where maybe the yielding turf moved her way up to where where the dominant performance came from. But if getting back on the firm turf brings her back to the field a little bit, and she doesn't have a lot of pace to close into, I think having a horse maybe closer to the front will be beneficial in this race. That's where I went, because I love this horse otherwise, but I think there's enough factors to see if maybe we could beat her at what probably will be a low price.
Beleza's here. It was pretty soft. I mean, look, you got to call like it is. La Mahena completely blew away Beleza, who's our top choice, Pete. It just feels like Beleza was struggling a little bit over the ground. I know she's a Euro, but not all Euros want it soft. I mean, you see it's a pretty big spread there, although Beleza was, knew that she was beat late. I think there's a little speed in here, and I believe that Beleza is going to run a bigger race. Now, she won, she ran okay yielding, but her only win and her fastest buyer figure, although barely, was on firm. I just have a feeling that they sent this horse over for firm. This also is Miguel. So, again, they're not going to get in their way. I'd like to see Jamie Rodriguez be a little more aggressive, Pete, because I'm not sure Beleza can outkick La Mahena, but if she gets the lead in front of her a little bit earlier, I think she's very capable. I believe in this horse. I mean, she lost the field. She feels pretty 2 back. Again, it's going to be firm, Sad. I just want to see what she can do over a firm course. Hope she doesn't lose ground on the first turn, though. Slightly concerned about that, too.
Yeah, nope, I agree with you, and I think she has the win at this distance too. Last time they went a mile and a half, and not that it was not that it's that far off from where it
Yep.
is, but she checked a little bit last time, and again, I'm counting on the firmness. Rosario a little bit last time. We know Rosario sometimes has a tendency to be a little too far back with horses. Maybe we can get this one a little. Yeah, I think Beleza is going to have to. Actually, Beleza and Be Your Best are going to both have to get the jump on
Yeah.
La Mahena because she's going to be closing. It's just a point of can they get away from her and make it a little more difficult to catch them.
And then Be Your Best is the other one. I've gone back and forth on this horse, guys. I don't know how you guys feel. She's a nice horse, but she's never struck me as like a serious grade 1 or grade 2 animal. I know she's won. She won the Gamely at Santa Anita. That was a really good effort for her, but it was Santa Anita, and actually that was a very strong effort. I can't say anything negative. She won the Pegasus, Philly, and Merton. I don't know what is it about her that I just don't trust her.
I
run
think
some
she's
races.
stronger, a little shorter is what gets me.
Yeah,
Do
well, that
you
could
think,
be
Paul? I see, Paul, you're shaking your head.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though she won the Gamely at a mile and an eighth, but again, she got on the lead. It was Santa Anita, so it was a good field, not a great field, and she just sort of got on the lead and got comfortable. But I think maybe she's better. She runs her best races at 8.5 to 8 furlongs, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
but she should be on the lead here, right?
Well,
I mean, I
that's the thing.
assume she should get a clean lead for the most part. There's other speed. The three's pretty fast though. So Long Ago, who we didn't talk about, is a fast horse. So maybe that horse will go out and
Yes.
challenge Be Your Best a bit.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think it's one of those three. If it's not one of those three, I'd be very surprised. I hate to be Mr. Chalk Eater right now, but I got to say how I feel. Let's go on to the next race, guys. The next race is the other grade stake, the Spinaway. This is the grade 1 of the day. 7 furlongs, 2-year-old fillies. I know there's some news. I don't know if it's breaking, but Pete, I know you want to talk about a horse in here that is going to be scratched. I'll let you get that in a second. Right now, it's a field of 10 with the morning line favorite. I was a little surprised David Aragona had number 8, Tommy Joe, for Pletcher and Carmouche, 1 of 2, as the favorite over number 4, Mythical, who's been outstanding for Jorge Delgado and Jaramillo. Guys, I just think Aragona feels like the Pletcher Carmouche combination is going to override the Delgado Jaramillo combination. But frankly, on paper, I think Mythical looks better. Let's see where we're going here. And then, Pete, I'll let you talk about the scratch. I am going to go with the Pletcher. I'm going 8-4-5. Pete's going 4-8-3. And Paul's going 1-8-5 in the Spinaway. Pete, tell everyone some information that you know of this race, first of all.
Yeah, actually, and my pick is wrong. I sent you the wrong one. I apologize. It should be 4-8-1, but
okay.
So my apologies for that. The 2 meringue, is it meringue like the lemon meringue pie or meringue? I don't know how to spell meringue.
I love lemon meringue pie, Pete.
Do you? I've never had it, but it's a fun name and it's a fun word, right? But yeah, the 2 is scratching. Where did you have the 2, Paul? You said you had to change your picks as well. Did you have just the 2?
I have third.
I actually had the 2 on top. I thought this was a spot where I liked the way that horse ran a little bit, and I thought there were some reasons. But she is apparently, and I just saw this on X, but it was, I forget who it was from DRF. Yes, thank you. Was going in Kentucky Downs on Sunday, I think. Again, following the cash. So I'll have to look at that race and see how she looks there because I kind of like that horse. But yeah. But
Paul,
you're going to be out.
Paul, you're going to go with the Chad Ornelia, or I believe that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. 9-2 morning line with Dylan, who won her debut. Let me bring that up on screen, and did it nicely, although it was a fast pace. The time came back okay with a 72, 9-2. Talk about this horse for Ammo Racing, a Gervin filly.
So my feeling this race, Howard, I've kind of been waiting for this horse, and it's a negative. Nothing negative against the horse. I'm really against Mythical in this race. Having watched that last race from the winner's circle and actually covered that race on Sunday for the special, I thought that horse looked like she didn't want to run a foot longer than probably 6 furlongs, let alone 6.5. And I kind of made a mental note that when this horse comes back at 7 in the spinaway, I'm going to be against her. And, I could be wrong, but if you're going to be wrong going against the horse, you want it to be the favorite, right? So, she's undefeated. Nothing negative to say about the horse. I just, you got to go by what you look at. It worked out last week with Torpedo Anna Bailey. But I wanted to be against this horse. You're right about the one, closing into a race that kind of fell apart. But boy, she really was moving. And she, on the other hand, looks like she just wants, you could just show the stretch. And she looks like she just wants to go further and further. She is the 4 in this race.
Way back there. Yep.
I believe is in the, she's going to tip outside. She's in the purple, I think, right?
Yep, save ground
Yeah.
and then tips out in the lane. Do
Yeah.
you feel like the race fell apart though, Paul?
Yes.
I feel that way. Oh, you do? I thought it was a little
bit.
bit of an optical illusion. I don't think she was necessarily flying late as much as they were stopping in front. You just seem to you disagree though.
Here's the deal. The horse who was leading still ran second, and the other 2 horses, the third horse got past. The other 2 did not. So clearly it was a good setup. But I'm not so sure she's not going to get a setup in here going 7. I mean, this Mythical is fast. This is a horse that Delgado ran on Belmont weekend in the Tremont against the boys, as opposed to running against the fillies. This horse is really, really fast. And if anyone goes with her, which you have to think there are horses in here who have to think about going. I'm looking at Cena the 6. I'm looking at, you figure Kendrick is going to be forward with Pletcher's horse. So I'm not so sure that she's not going to get an advantageous pace to run into again. Maybe not at that level, but something that might suit her style.
Yeah, I do have the 4 second because I think there is a scenario in which she could get loose again. But you're right, Paul. I think steer clear, Pete, is actually one of the keys to this race. Yeah. I don't know if she's going to go. She's cross-entered into tomorrow, Friday. Paul, do you? Right. I guess if she goes here, she feels more like a rabbitish type, Pete, for the 8 for the stablemate. My speculation, I don't know, Pete, as we're talking here Thursday at 8:00 Eastern. My speculation is she's going in tomorrow and that she's not going to run in this race because Butcher's already got Tommy Joe. I don't think they would waste a start with a 2-year-old as a rabbit type unless Butcher really thinks the 7 is good enough to win. I'm assuming that race tomorrow is a maiden race, guys. I would assume the race due tomorrow. So what's your feeling, Pete? Unless someone's got intel in the chat, I'm guessing Steer Clear is going to run tomorrow, Pete. Although I don't know.
Yeah, no, that seems logical, but that was sort of. I switched to Mythical because I saw the scratch and I had Mythical in second, so I just sort of moved everyone up. But I almost leaned to what Paul was thinking as well, because the reason I was picking against Mythical with Meringue was I thought that there was potential for pace. Like he said, Cena, I thought Steer Clear has some speed. There's just enough speed to the outside of Mythical that if they make it difficult for her, she's never had to deal with that yet. She's basically had pretty uncontested, easy leads.
I agree.
With not soft. Like actually, the first 2 were pretty soft paces. The last one was sort of moderate.
Fast.
So if anybody goes with her, we don't know. And especially if what Paul is saying is correct, where maybe she doesn't want the 7, then it's looking tough for her. But again, if she gets a clean, easy lead, maybe she's able to stretch that out the extra half furlong. So it's a tough one. But I like Paul. I like the 1 a little bit more because I like that horse. I actually had that horse last time. I like that horse a little bit more if the speed stays in and she gets the setup.
If the speed stays in, I like Mythical a lot less. If the 7 comes out, I know the 6 has speed, Pete and Paul, but they're going 7. I don't see a crazy pace duel. I just don't see it. And the last thing I want is this 4 to wire the field. Although Paul, I hear you, guys. I love Tommy Joe. I wish Tommy Joe, who feels like that should be a male horse based on the spelling of the name and everything. I love her middle move, Pete, and I
Yeah.
will show the replay. She broke fine in her debut, but she moved up so comfortably and so easily on the turn. And I thought beat a pretty decent horse in Tennessee. It was a Tennessee Whiskey, no,
Tennessee
Tennessee
Bell.
Bell,
Yeah.
who came back and won. Caradice also came back and won. There's a reason why Aragona's got her 2-1 because he's a smart guy. I think she can sit right off Mythical. I agree with Paul. I don't see much going on here, guys, to be honest, in terms of a close race. I think the 4 is going to get the lead. I'm anticipating the 7 is scratching. Sure, maybe the 6 puts a little pressure on the 4. The 8's going to sit outside of both of them. And I think the 8 goes by the 4 mid-stretch and it's all over. To me, this seems very simplistic. I'm sure it won't be, but I like this horse a lot, Pete. And I think the Spendthrift Farm ownership, Tommy Joe filly, could be a serious Breeders' Cup threat too, if she's as good as I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think I almost would start looking at like 8-1-4 in the scenario where I think you're sort of convincing me because I was thinking that was going to go anyway. But yeah, I really liked the 8. I thought she was super impressive. She sort of closed. I mean, she did sit off. She closed into a slow pace, but she didn't really close into it. She sort of made the middle move and attacked it quickly, which I really liked. I just thought she was super impressive, and you could see on the
In
screen
hand
there.
here, Pete. Like it's
Yeah, I mean,
not
she
she's not
went
even
by
asking on
super
the turn.
easy.
You know what I mean?
No, super easy.
Nah.
Went by. Yeah.
By the favorite. And I mean, she was asked here in the stretch, but I don't actually mind that. Let the horse get used to a whip, let her get used to. Actually, I don't know if the jock pulled the stick or not. Now that I look at it, not really. More just the niggling and hand riding. I think she could have won by more. I just think she's going to get a great. I don't see a scenario in which Tommy Joe doesn't get a great trip, Pete and Paul, unless she doesn't break. She feels way too logical here to me. So
Yeah, she
that's my
looks like
feeling.
she could do that same thing there and
Yep.
sort of make that same move, but obviously she'll be trying to pass better horses this time out. So
I just want to quickly mention the 5 Percy's Bar, guys. I was there for the debutante. That was Stephen Foster Day. We were covering it live. Wow, was Ben Colbrook happy in the winner's circle? I can tell you that. As was Luan Machado. That competition wasn't great, guys, and the service was very fast. So when you see 109.3, don't get like completely blown away because the number didn't come back ultra fast. But she's been working very well at Keeneland. She's talented. I just don't know if she's quite at the level of the top 2 guys, especially Tommy Joe. That's my opinion, Paul.
Yeah, that's fair. The undefeated horse, you have to give a second and third look to, and this is a confident placing. Obviously, shipping. This is a logical step. If you win a listed stakes at Churchill, take on this grade 1 and see where you fit for the. If you can keep going longer in the juvenile fillies.
Yep, I believe so. It should be a fun race. I wouldn't. It's certainly I would be way too disrespectful to call it a matchup of 2 horses there, but it does feel like Mythical and Tommy Joe sort of lay over the field. No, but they're gonna be tough to beat for sure. Okay, so I got my. We are not sponsored, but hey, Saratoga Spring Water. There we go.
The best.
Let's get on to race 12, the penultimate leg of the pick 5, and going a little more quickly today because we do have some things I want to talk about at the end of the show, including a pleasant Paul rant, believe it or not. Race 12, allowance optional, 75 claiming, 6 furlongs, $115,000 is the purse. What is this, Kentucky Downs?
Yeah.
Field of 8, look at this, 3-1, 7-2, 7-2, 4-1. I love when I see that. The number 7, what you talking about? Not Willis, but what you talking about? Wesley Ward, Harmio. Let's see where we're going here. I am going to go with that horse. So is Pete. I'm going 7-2-4, as is my friend Pete. He's going 7-2-4. Paul, on the other hand, seems to be Mr. Against the grain tonight. He's going 2-4-8. Paul, what you talking about with what you talking about? I don't know. I'll let him talk about that. Rookie card, Gargan Santana, the 2 horse, Paul, 7-2. That's who you're going with.
There's a good chance I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, so just keep that in mind.
All right.
I thought this horse was really good last time. From the far outside post, although granted going 7, that's you could argue it's as much an advantage as a disadvantage, but I don't think he was in any hurry to get to the lead. Got to the lead easily, opened up, was geared down. Cuts back a furlong. Will get a. Santana would be by nature more aggressive than Rosario. I thought that 91 figure is something that did not come out of nowhere because he ran an 86 in a Florida bred allowance back in February. This, as you said, Howard, this is a pretty competitive race. Looks like someone's going to pop up and run a mid to high 90s. Unless your guy, what you're talking about, was it Lewis? What you talking about, Lewis? Was that the
Willis?
Willis, correct.
Yes.
And obviously the 106. That's a if that's not a one-off, then we're all in trouble, except those of you who picked them.
Lewis might have been a Trading Places reference, Pete. I don't know if he was going there or not.
Lewis.
But anyway, what a great movie. Anyway,
yeah.
I do also want to say in race, I just handicapped it. Race 6, guys, on Saturday, there's a Gargan Firster that was working well with Rookie Card. Just want to bring that up. I think it's the 4-horse. I can't remember that name, but race
Talkin'.
6, the 4-horse Talkin' was working with Rookie Card and not quite as well, but pretty good. Just want to mention that for people that might be interesting. Matt said, just held up Loves Only You Rookie Card. Wow. Take the 2. Okay, there you go. Loves Only You. Yeah, how about that? Good call. I like Rookie Card. We both do, Pete. We've got him second. I have nothing negative to say. I agree with Paul. Might get the lead. Could be very tough. Could be rounding in a really good form. I think the 7's a better horse right now. What you're talking about. Toss out that last, Pete, for me. He was in the slop. He didn't run well. It was off a layoff. I think he's pretty talented. I know he's beating New York breds, in the winter, which you could question how good those fields are, but he did win the NYRA, which was impressive. I think I liked him that day, and you guys were against him, if I recall, and he won even money, whatever, nothing special. He was even money that day. I just think a bounce back is in order. He's outside tactical speed. I'm not worried about the distance. I just think he's very logical here, Pete.
Yeah, pretty much. I same things for me. I think getting back on a fast track, cutting back the furlong, which I like, and I just think before that he was just in great form. And if he could just basically if he can just get back to 2 and 3 races back, he's at least at the top of the field or near the top of the field, and that was enough for me. But again, I like the cutback because he started out the year. I mean, he came back because he was good as a 3-year-old. Then he comes back with a monster race to kick off this year. Then is off for a few months, wins a grade 3, which was very nice. Then was off again. Now we're actually getting a second race in a form cycle instead of being off for once. So hopefully there's a little more sharpness. We get him back on fast ground and see how he goes. And I think he could sit off, so he doesn't need to lead, so he could sit off a little bit, and Rookie Card's going to probably go. And I thought there was enough other speed in here to where at least Rookie Card wouldn't get a super easy lead.
Paul, last horse we'll talk about quickly, Surveillance. He's getting a little bit old. He ran well against Little Knee. I think you were live with me on that show, I think, for Weekend Warriors. He ran well, but he also didn't have any excuses. He's in for 75. I don't know, man. I think at this point of his career, he's a slight cut below, but he can win this race. I just want to go with the younger horses there and get a jump on him.
Yeah, except Little Knee, we think would be like 1 to 5 to win this race by 10, right?
No, not that obvious, but he'd be 4 to 5.
Should be a solid trick. Yeah, I agree. Look, this is a $25,000 yearling that has made $1.1 million. So he's entitled to go off a little bit. But you know what? Closing weekend, Linda places them where they can win. She's still within striking distance. I think she was out 5 going into today. She was down 5, I think, going into the year she tied them. I think she was down 5 going into Sunday. So, I hear what you say. But again, 90. The horse is still pretty consistent numbers wise, Howard, for an old bastard. Way more consistent than I am numbers wise for this old bastard.
The fact that we're not suggesting Linda's rushing him into this spot, Paul, but the fact that he's running him back a little bit quick, I don't like the vibe. I just, it's like she's running him because he fits the condition, but I think ideally they'd like to get a work into him and run him like 2 weeks later. That's how it feels to me,
But
Paul.
look at
He doesn't have a
the
work
sheet.
since the
This horse
last.
doesn't. This horse is too old. He can't work. He's got to save
Well,
his energy for the afternoons. Howard.
all right, I hear you. I don't like the vibe, but I suppose he can win. He can win. I don't know. I'm a little bit against him. I do have him in the mix though. Let's go to the last race, guys, and then we got a few things to talk about. Thanks for joining the show, everyone. We greatly appreciate your viewership and patronage. Last race of the last Saturday at Saratoga for 2025 is on the turf, a mile of 16th, $110,000, field of 12 with 4 MTOs in case the weather comes up poor. Let's see, the morning line favorite is number 3, Debt Limit for Chad and Dylan. You've also got Main Beach on the outside, Laurel Valley for Maker. Nice field here. Candy Town, Ramblin' Wreck. Got some other Pletchers. Big field here. Let's see where we're going to close out the day. This is race 13, right? Yep. I'm going 5-11-2. Pete's going 5-12-7. Wow. Paul's going 5-11-12. We're all going with Debt Limit. 3-1 Dylan. I got to say, I don't love this horse, but I think there's enough speed in this race, guys. And it just seems very logical. Again, I'm not let's see, I'm not proud. I'm not afraid of my picks on the show tonight. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not I don't know. I'm going sort of chalky. I didn't find a lot of like creative prices that I like to throw in there in this sequence. So we're all going with Debt Limit. Pete, why don't you talk about this horse?
Yeah, actually, I go the other way from you a little bit. I really like this horse. I think
Okay.
the last one, came off a little bit of a layoff. Doesn't break well. They're putting blinkers on, which Chad in, at this sort of level, blinkers on. It's not the greatest move for him. He's not the worst, but he's definitely below sort of his normal percentages. But I like that you lose Pratt, which is always crappy, but you get Dylan Davis, who won on this horse 2 back, so at least has some knowledge of them, has some experience on top of them. Maybe with the blinkers, actually first time blinkers, you see there's a good stat on the bottom. So maybe I was looking more 5 years. Maybe his more recent were a little better. And then lost to Then, who came back to win with a 94 buyer last out, which you can see
really
right
good
there on the screen. Yes, was really good in that race too. I just think maybe if we can get this horse a little bit of you don't even need to be super close. Like you said, I think there's some pace here. You just don't want to be, it's a big enough field where you don't want to be stuck too far back and have to weave through horses. But I think if this horse gets any kind of trip, I just think he might be better than the rest of them. I didn't really like anybody else all that much. So I just think he's better. And if he runs his best race, I think that wins.
I look, I like closers like you do, Pete, but I don't like dead closers in a big field, even if the pace sets up, because and I've got him on top, so I don't want to, I'm just saying I would prefer a smaller field where, like you said, it doesn't have to weave between 7-8 horses to close, and it's only a mile and 16th.
Yeah, that spot doesn't look great. If you're looking at the time form there, that spot isn't advantageous, but
yeah.
But again, maybe with the blinkers on, that's not where this horse is. Maybe he's at least. I mean, if this horse is mid pack with the kick that he has, I think that's enough. But I think
would agree.
Yeah, I think that should be enough. But I just think he might. Like I said, I think he just might be better than the rest of them. And in the end, if you can get 3-1 on a Chad horse who's just better than the field, I'll take it.
I agree, Paul. We've seen some horses from the outside go to the lead. If Santana can get a lead and slow it down even a little bit. I like Laurel Valley. This is a talented New York bred who's run against Better Lucky Than Good and Gem 10, so I'm familiar with this horse. I think what I like the most, Paul, other than the fact that he can show speed and cross over, possibly, is that he's only second off the layoff, and a lot of these horses have been running all summer, all meet long. He's as fresh as a daisy. I think Laurel River is very dangerous if he can work out a trip from the 11 hole.
Yeah, and you have to think he's going to move forward. That was a comeback race last time off a 9-month layoff. So, yeah, I agree. And I will, just to go back to the 5 for 1 second. There is no way that time form. He is not going to be that far back. It's a mile and a 16th. It's Dylan Davis, who's riding for Chad, who's going to be a little more aggressive. The 2 races that horse won, he was mid-pack after a half mile, 4th out of 9 and 4th out of 8. So just because he happened to get, he did, quote, hit the gate last time, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's not going to be that far back, so don't worry about the time form.
Okay.
Back to the 11. I agree with you, Howard. It is important to cross over, as you say, from out there. And this horse looks like he has the speed to do it. And, Santana is, in hockey, we used to have the 7th player award, and we still do have the 7th player award. He is the, of the people at the meet who's performed the most beyond what you would have expected. That's been a gate to wire performance by him. 34 wins. He won at least one today. So, yeah, I think this 11's live from out there, Howard. I agree with you.
Pete, Penn State Scott apparently only here for the ranch, and that's it.
That's all right.
Penn State Scott,
if you're going to be here for something, that's it.
Yeah. We don't really care why
the view counts the same. It doesn't matter. You don't even have to pay attention. Just put it on. As long as we get the view. I like the 11 with you guys. That's basically my 4th horse was the 11. So I'm sort of with you guys on that one.
I didn't know what to do with Main Beach, guys. Last horse we'll talk about. I hate this post situation. I know it's second off the layoff. I've never thought this horse is really that good, to be very honest. I know that Chad staked him last year, but I don't know, man. It's a tough post situation here. Convince me otherwise, Paul.
Well, look it's the other Chad. Do you need any more convincing than that?
All right, fair enough. Let's just end there. How about that?
That's enough, right?
Well, I do want to mention one horse.
It is funny that he's putting blinkers on both of his horses in this race, which again isn't the greatest move for him.
It worked out so well with strategic focus.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, boy. Well, that was. I'll just mention Candytown, guys, who I thought was pretty good at Gulfstream in the fast pace. And last time had no chance from the 9 hole. It was just a tough situation. Second off the layoff with Zayas. Should be able to get in front of the 1 early. I just think the Candytown's going to ride the rail, guys. I don't know how good he is, but I think Candytown's a little bit interesting, mainly because I think he's going to get a great trip. Let's see where we're going here with our best bets. Then we got a few other things to talk about. Pete's best bet. He's going to race 9, a win bet on the 4, and a double race 12, 7-5, Pete.
Yeah, the 9th, the 4 is that Shoot It True horse who, again, that was my lone A in the race. So I kind of really like that horse. And then the double is just simply, I like what you're talking about, Willis, and then right into the 5 that we talked about here, Debt Limit. So I'm going to stick with that again. They're not the biggest of odds, but, I think it's low. I think the fields are big enough where you could get a decent double payout there.
We can change names of horses to suit our need.
We do. By the way, just, even though I win every week, Katie had to let you know that I win best bet. So,
obviously.
Before seeing your bets, she doesn't even need to see them. She just knows.
Paul, I should just create a banner that says,
Pete's best bet
Katie,
winner.
quote, Pete wins or
yes,
something.
Every time.
Paul, race 12, double 2-4 with 5. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, well, this is kind of predicated on trying to beat what you're talking about, or whatever the hell his name is, into what you're talking about, into the 5 that I do agree with Pete. So I agree with Pete exactly 50% of this best bet. I had the rookie card and surveillance, who are both, not prices, but I think the 7 will be the favorite there. So those two trying to beat the favorite into Debt Limit, who I agree with Pete. I like a lot in that race. By the way, then I didn't mention it, but then who Debt Limit lost to, admittedly by 3 lengths, but then came back and just ran off the screen last weekend. So
yeah,
I ran really well.
Yeah, he had that on the screen, so we showed that one.
We did mention that. That was Chris Cobb's like best bet of the day. I didn't think. I was surprised that he was bet down. He won like everyone knew, except for me apparently. My best bet, race 9. I'm going to go with the same horse, Pete, that Wesley Ward horse that we showed. Visually, that was the most impressive turf sprint efforts I've seen all summer. Yeah. I know it was against much less. It's not a great stake, but man, that was just super impressive. I'm going to go with him and double him into Beleza. No, race
Yeah,
10.
be
Is that
your
the
best in Beleza.
Yeah, be your best in Beleza. I'm going to try to beat La Mahena. I don't know if it's going to work, to be very honest, but I'm going to try to beat La Mahena there in the double and try to get some value. And then I'm going to go to race 11, a win bet on the 8, which is Tommy Joe. So, again, everyone thinks, oh, Howard always goes with long shots and tries to play these 20 to 1s underneath. Look, you got to play what you feel here. I just don't. I wish I could be more creative, everyone, and maybe I will be on the day of on Saturday. I just, I don't know. I couldn't find a lot of long shots or bigger prices, Pete and Paul, that I really liked in this sequence. Okay, before we leave here, we got a few things to talk about, and I've got it written down. First of all, I had a lovely dinner with Matt Miller and Mike Oldham, Mike from Equinet Show, Oldie. And I got some information. And guys, we're going to be probably, no guarantee. Whoops, what happened here? I think we need a little upgrade in our thumbnails. If people don't know what a thumbnail is, that's what when you see on YouTube and you see like the artistry for our show, it's like a poster. It's called a thumbnail. I learned that from the kids, Pete and Paul. Along with something that's so base and I don't know, 67.
Just
and
let's don't
I
say
don't
that.
know.
Yeah, don't say that.
Pete's
You're
like, I hear this from
sounding
my
your
son all
age. Yes,
day, right?
yes, you're
Pete knows all
sounding
this
your
stuff
age.
because he's got a son in junior high. He knows all this stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, we're gonna improve our thumbnails. So look for some new thumbnails, some new artistry, some new posters for our YouTube shows, and let us know what you think below the video player when we start those. Maybe as early as next week, guys. But we'll see. So a little thing there. We have a possible partnership in the works. I'm waiting for something from a particular corporation's legal team, and when we have an announcement to make, we'll make that announcement. But some big partnerships, hopefully, in the works. And the other thing I wanted to mention goes to something we teased last week, and I'll let Paul Halloran talk about this more specifically. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special Picks and Ponies. We are going to be handicapping, but not for very long. It's probably about 1/3 handicapping, 2/3 a fundraiser. And I'm going to let Paul talk about who's going to be on the show and why. And Paul, I'm going to do that under the guise of a picture I'm about to show on the screen. Paul, can you talk about what we see and what we're doing next Thursday, my friend, on Picks and Ponies?
Yeah, so that is a rendering of a life-size Cody's Wish. You could see his head and neck in the familiar position as if young Cody was sitting right there in his wheelchair right in front of him. That is going up. It's being installed as we speak at the Horse Park in Lexington, and it will be unveiled on October 11th. I know Howard and I will both be there along with many, many others. It is done by Jocelyn Russell, and if you folks want some homework before next week, I'm sure you're familiar with her. In 2023, her life-size Secretariat on the 50th anniversary of his Triple Crown made the rounds. I saw it just myself at Churchill Downs, Belmont, and Saratoga. So I guess I made the rounds with it. Phenomenal statue. Howard, I saw her at Jonabell Farm on December 18th of 23. We were there to celebrate Cody's 18th birthday, unfortunately without him. But she was there actually taking measurements of Cody's Wish that day. And
Wow.
She has been at this for a year and a half. She is a unbelievably talented sculptor and artist. And this is going in. There is a fundraising campaign to pay for it. And we are going to try to help out with our podcast. We'll give you more details next week, but there is a website called codyswishmonument.com. And we're going to give people we're not going to ask you to give the money to us. We'll talk about it next week. You'll be able to donate on your own and write it off, but there is a vehicle for you to let them know that you are part of the HHH podcast. We're trying to, come up with a rather significant bulk donation from the podcast. So Jocelyn is scheduled to be on. Kelly Dorman is scheduled to be on. So it should be a great show.
Yes, we're very excited. I'm going to send out an email with detailed information. Guys, we almost have 1,000 people on our email list now, which is awesome. So if you want to be part of our email list, by the way, email me, hkravitzhorse@gmail.com. ponies.com. It's below the video player. It's on our website. It's everywhere. Email me and we'll put you on our email list. I promise I don't bombard you with emails every day. I actually only send out 1 or 2 a week at the most, to be honest. This monument, by the way, cost almost $300,000, and they need help from people. And it's going to be, it's practically, it's going to be erected very soon, obviously, with the ceremony. But we need your help. Again, we will give information. I'm going to put it out on X, guys, also, and ladies, and I'm going to let the whole horse racing world know. And what would be very cool, obviously, it's about the donation. But if you look at right here, you see at the bottom of the screen there, I got the arrow. There's like a plaque there. That's where they're putting names of sponsors. I think it'd be really cool, Pete and Paul. You have to have a certain threshold. We'll just say it. There's no secret. You have to have a $5,000 donation to get your name on this plaque, I believe. I'd love to have HHH Racing Podcast as one of the official sponsors of this monument. So my personal goal, ladies and gentlemen, is to raise $5,000 on behalf of the HHH Racing Podcast. So again, we will send you information. There's no rush to do that, but it's pretty simple math here, Pete and Paul, as I bring you guys back on. We've got almost 6,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We have, over 3,000 on X. I mean, literally, usually when you ask for donations, let's just say you get 10% even, just only 10% of people involved with the podcast or watch the podcast. That's already like close to 1,000 people. People's $5 a person. I mean, and you're there. So obviously we'd love to have you donate more than $5. I mean, donate us whatever you feel comfortable with. If you'd like to, we would appreciate that. Everything goes to the monument. Nothing goes to us at all. It can add
And
up.
There'll be some incentives we'll talk about next week, Howard.
Oh, okay. There might be some incentives also. So anyway, it's very cool. Paul, I'm honored that you asked me to come. I'm going to be there for the second weekend of Keeneland. I'm sure we'll get some great pictures next to the monument as well. Paul, I'll make sure you don't climb on Cody there, on Cody's wish. Start riding the horse. We don't want that to happen, Pete. That could be ugly. We would have an accident.
I would be climbing on neither the living one nor the bronze one.
Even the bronze might not be able to hold one of us on there, unfortunately.
So anyway, fundraiser we're going to talk about. You're going to see on X. The whole horse racing world will know about it, Pete and Paul. I'll do my best to promote it as well. Last question. I didn't really prep you guys on this, but Sunday, we're not talking about Sunday except for Sunday morning. Pete and I will be on Sunday morning for Saratoga today. We'll talk about the late pick 5. I got my button out. Is this horse going to win on Sunday, gentlemen? And revenge mind frame from when they face each other in the Stephen Foster. Obviously, Pete says no. Paul?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's got, contrary thinking is there to, to do the job. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not the horse needs a pace to run into. Not, so maybe I'm not so, I haven't made my selection yet, but, yeah, we'll see.
I haven't looked yet. I haven't. Are we?
Okay.
You said we're covering the late pick 5. I was going to ask you that. We could do a production discussion on the show. We're doing the late pick 5, not the one that includes the Jockey Club. Because there's like 4 pick 5s, no? Or are there like 100 pick 5s?
We are doing late pick 5 as usual, Pete, but we will include race 5 because the Jockey Club is earlier in the card. Thanks for reminding me about that. We will talk about the Jockey Club.
I didn't know if you wanted to do a middle one to include that or not.
Fair enough. No, we're going to do the late pick 5. We'll start our conversation. I am not picking Sierra Leone, by the way. I know everyone thinks, I love the horse, but it's situational. I'm not picking him on Sunday. So just wanted to get that out in the open. Guys, anything? Paul, you have a quick rant, right? Let me put you full screen. Paul has a pleasant rant. So Paul Halloran's rant of the week.
All positive before I get to the main topic. Penny breakage starts at NYRA on Monday. That's great news for bettors. I think all of our people know what that means. It means when the horse is supposed to pay $632 to win, you get $632. You don't get $620. Right? Instead of it rounding down to the nearest fifth of a set, whatever. So that's good news. No coupled entries in New York coming up in the fall. Okay, it's a good lesson to you kids out there. Kids, never give up. Just never give up, as Jimmy V said, Pete. Right?
We still got a couple. We still got a couple left for us to annoy you on these last couple days. Just to stick it in one last time for you.
Yeah. Well, there was a race. I think it was yesterday or today, Pete. The one and the two. It's just
It's
a
unbelievable.
joke. But yeah, it was just unbelievable. It was right. But Hon, I wanted to talk about last Saturday. Now, look, we're all looking to make money, and if you want to go to Saratoga and on a random Thursday and complain that all the favorites won, it was all chalk. I'm right there with you. I got to make the exception last Saturday. Last Saturday, equine excellence was on display at Saratoga, and it started with Torpedo Anna. And, I talked about her last week on the show. I was against her until I saw her out there at 7:00 in the morning on Thursday. And boy, did she gut it out in the stretch to a very, very game Darth Vader. Patch Adams with a great run up the rail. Baffert's Hope Road. I know I like the horse. I think Pete, maybe, I think one other. I thought that horse was a standout road. Ran huge. Bookham Dano, has there been a cooler horse in the last 10 years? I'm a little biased because I know the folks now, but he just shows up every time. That was a good field in the Forgo. And of course, Sovereignty. And, I barely slept on Friday night because I was worried about Magnitude slipping away and Sovereignty not winning. I just managed to get a couple of hours of shut-eye on Friday night. But, he just showed that he is the dominant 3-year-old, and we'll see if he can do it against all the horses. But if you're a fan of the sport, as we all are, I think you got to overlook the line of chalk and just say it was just a spectacular day of races. The Torpedo Anna race is one of the best races I have ever seen live, and I've seen a few live. Wow. It was thrilling to be there for that. It really was. That's all.
Awesome, Paul. Well, we love horse racing. We love great horse racing, and you got that last Saturday for sure. Gentlemen, fun show. We got to get out of the way because you know what?
Yes.
Pacific Horse Players starting at 9 p.m. Eastern is going to be absolutely en fuego. The best Del Mar card of the entire meet. You've got the Pacific Classic, Fiercest versus Nisos versus Journalism. Oh, my. And some other really nice grade stakes. So we're going to get out of the way and let the young boys take care of that. I just will say that I will be on as a co-host, actually. I'll be sitting back and watching Noah do his magic, and I'm going to be on as a co-host, wearing possibly some interesting garb in honor of Pacific Classic Day. What am I going to be wearing? Well, you just have to find out. So, with that tease, Pete and Paul, great job, my friends. For Pete Visco and Paul Harrell, this has been your host, Howard Kravitz, episode 425, our last Picks and Ponies Saratoga show of 2025. So there's only one more thing left to say. Crush your bets at the spa. Take care. We'll see you this weekend. Weekend Warriors, and go Nebraska and Saratoga today, Saturday and Sunday mornings. Take care, guys. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.